Yes, ladies and gentlemen, can you hear the war drums beating? Boom, boom, boom. The war drums are beating as we speak. It's beating from North Korea. It's the war drums are beating in Iran, China, Russia, USA, South Korea, Israel. The war drums are beating. Can you hear it? War is in the air. And I'm here to tell you, be on your war alert because the drums are beating real hard. Right now, as we speak, the leader for North Korea, King Jong-un, have now ordered his armed force to set his long-range weapon artillery in set them on maximum high alert for an attack against who? You know who? An attack, maximum high alert attack against the USA and South Korean bases. Maximum alert attack against alert attack or threat. He had given threat against U.S. bases in Hawaii, in Guam, and U.S. mainland. And we see that these war drums are beating. Even North Korea, as you know, in the past, have recently done a nuclear test. And have sent a rocket into space, and they're testing out their long-range missile, send numerous threats against the U.S. and South Korea. Not only that, but they have broke the armistice with South Korea that had ended the Korean War, that bloody Korean War. They broke out of that agreement. Not only that, they signed a pact with Iran, who you know right now is pursuing nuclear weaponry and in no way complying with the UN and in terms of stopping their nuclear progress. The war drums are beating. It's beating in North Korea and it's beating in Iran. The top leader in Iran threatened to reduce Jewish cities of Tel Aviv and Haifa to ashes if they are attacked. War drums are beating. Less than a year, a nuclear bomb will be created in Iran. War drums are beating. The war drums are beating, and that was said by President Obama. That listen, in less than a year, Iran is gonna have nuclear bomb, and he said, listen, it ain't gonna happen under my watch. I'm not gonna wait until it reach the edge to act. Can you hear the war drums beating? Just last week, war drums are beating China and Russia. Right during the time that President Obama went to Israel, the Chinese premier Xi Jinping went to Russia to meet his Russian counterpart, which is Vladimir Putin. And they went on, his trip was concerning a military transaction that they wanted to do over a decade now. And China always want to purchase some super fast jets from Russia, and they finally during this time decide to make that deal, and they come up with a deal to purchase 24 super fast fighter jet, and the deal is gone through. The war drums are beating. Notice that China is the main ally of North Korea. Russia is also close to Iran, and they're all close together. Can you hear the war drums beating? Not only that, the USA and the South Korea, the war drums beating. Joint military exercise by the USA and South Korea. Right now, the B-52 bombers, USA B-52 bombers, are making military flights over South Korea. The war drums are beating. USA, Israel, Syria. The war drums beating. Obama gave Israel on his recent trip the green light to attack Iran. And listen, the war drums is beating. Obama also threatened Syria over its possible usage of chemical weapons against his own people. The war drums are beating. Recently, Syria fired upon Israel, and Israel responded by bombing a military post in Syria. I'm here to tell somebody that the war drums are beating, just like spoken in the word of God. In Matthew 24, he said, "You shall hear of wars and rumors of wars." Recently, a servant of God, a visionary in our church, in a revelation, the visionary said to an individual, Daniel 9:19 to 26. And if you read that chapter is the most important prophecy in the Bible. It's the most important prophecy. Talk about the 70 weeks prophecy over Jerusalem. But what was important, the prophecy, it is stopped at 26. Verse 27 is very important, but the prophecy in the vision stop at 26. You know what is at 26? It talk about a flood and war and desolation. And before that, it talk about the Messiah being cut off. Now listen, the Messiah was cut off during this time. It was cut off during the time of Easter. And right in this time frame, we can hear the war drums beating. Listen, either during this period or a little after, you're going to hear even more concerning war. It's determined, it's on its way. The drums are getting louder, and God sent forth this mighty revelation and prophecy to let mankind know that, listen, desolation is determined because of war. War is in the ear. War is in the ear. Mankind, get ready for war.